Well, we're almost to the final week of part 1 of Module 20. And with that, I've still been noticing quite a few people struggling with the new stat system. So, this guide video, it's mostly aimed at newer players, but veterans, maybe stick around, you might learn something new too. Today we're going to be talking about combat advantage, awareness, and why you're dying so easily. Before we begin, I want to, give you a suggestion. If you like Neverwinter videos, I do post them regularly. Maybe hit that little subscribe button. It really helps out the channel, lets YouTube know that these videos are helpful to people. Same thing if you hit the like button. Anyways, let's get into the actual video. Combat advantage and awareness. You can find them on your main stats sheet under offensive and defensive, respectively. They counteract each other, okay? So that's the first thing to know, is that a lot of Neverwinter stats counteract one another. Accuracy counteracts deflect. Critical strike counteracts critical avoidance. Combat advantage counters awareness. We're specifically going to be talking about combat advantage and awareness, because I think they are the two most important stats this mod. Previously, awareness was kind of a dump stat for defensive. Combat advantage was still important, but awareness was really a dump stat. That's changed with how the new stat system works. I'm gonna tell you why it's important. So you ever out, maybe you're doing a quest, maybe you're even in a dungeon. You get surrounded by mobs, and then next thing you know, boom, you're dead. Instantly, it seems, as if they one-shot you somehow. That's combat advantage and awareness at work. So combat advantage and awareness, they are a stat. They are also a mechanic. And I think that's the important thing to remember. While power and defense and all those others, those are just stats. They affect numbers, they affect your raw damage output and mitigation. Combat advantage and awareness are stats and a mechanic. So I think the important thing for newer players to recognize is how the mechanic works. So, I want you to walk up to an enemy or a training dummy. I want you to look at their feet. You see those little semicircles? Usually they're white, but if you stand in front of them, they turn purple. That is your combat advantage indicator. If the circle is purple, you do double damage. It's not quite double damage, but for the sake of explanation, we're going to say it's double damage. It's not quite, there is an algorithm to it. But I'm not really a math guy. We're just going to explain this simply. So, circle is blue, you do double damage. Circle is white, you do your normal damage. The amount of damage you do is affected by your combat advantage. Remember, we're talking about the percentages, not the ratings. Ratings are important to get you to 50%, but they are not what actually is calculated for damage. That would be the total percentage. Now, I'm sure some of you might have said, but I don't see the combat advantage wheel. That might be because you either A, do not have a companion, or B, you're using an augment companion. Combat advantage, the mechanic, not the stat, says when 2 or more entities are engaged with someone, be that another player or an enemy or a companion. When 2 or more entities are engaged with another, they get combat advantage. Which means that wheel shows up below their feet. Think of it kind of like rogue sneak attack in Dungeons & Dragons. If 2 or more entity friendlies are engaged with an enemy, the rogue gets to do more damage. It's like that, but for everyone. So, and this is why, especially while soloing, an active companion someone that either does damage, heals you, or tanks for you. An active companion is so important. Without an active companion summon, if you are running something like a Bullet Pup or a Deep Crow while you're trying to solo, you're not going to have combat advantage. You will be doing less damage because of it. And the more people engaged with the same enemy, the bigger that combat advantage wheel gets. So a quick reminder, 2 or more engaged with something, combat advantage. Make the wheel turn purple, do double damage. Can be an active companion, can be another player. You get the picture. Here's the thing though, and I think this is the thing that a lot of people don't realize. Enemies also get combat advantage. Which means enemies, if you get yourself surrounded, will do more damage to you. Take a look. All right, well, after that epic montage of me getting my butt kicked over and over and over again because of combat advantage, I hope you noticed around my feet, a little red circle. Looked just like the combat advantage, but it would just flash for a moment and it was red. That means the enemy hit me with combat advantage. So that's your indication. You don't want that to happen. An easy way to avoid it is keep moving while in combat. If you run around the field and make sure you don't let yourself get surrounded, kite your enemies, all that kind of stuff, you'll stay out of it. Another way, increase your awareness. Awareness, as mentioned, mitigates combat advantage damage. So if you have more awareness, you take less combat advantage damage. You can get that up to 90%. But Bryce, where do I get the awareness? You might be asking. Well, here's a few useful tips. Check your class's forte on your powers tab of your character sheet. You might actually have awareness as one of your forte stats. If not, don't worry, there's other ways you can get it. Tactical enchant rank 15 gives 300 awareness. That's a good way to go. You could slot in some tacticals into your defense. You could also go for some insignias. Evasion insignias give awareness. And if you have awareness in your forte, dominance gives you some forte. Another great way of getting awareness, and this is giving you percentages, not ratings. So this will go above that 50% line, which will help get you to that 90% cap of awareness, is companion equip powers. Yes, we love our companion equip powers here. So let's just take a quick look. Minstrel's Discipline can give you some awareness in a defense or a utility slot. War Dog's Instinct gives you some awareness and defense. Neverwinter's Guard gives awareness and outgoing healing. That one's good for you healers. And now my final but most expensive suggestion. The Celestial Stag gives awareness. Now, its current cheapest on PC is 4 million Astral Diamonds, and that's the non-account bound version. If you want the account bound, you're paying closer to 5. And if you want that Cosmic Stag, that's up in the 12 millions. Now, obviously, that one's not for everyone. It's really expensive. I ain't gonna pay that much. But if you see it come down in price, or maybe you get lucky in a lockbox pull or something, it's a good choice. The Starfade Stag, which is considerably cheaper, only 800,000, is also the Starfade Stag, only about 800,000. Also gives awareness. Not a bad alternative option, but you should really consider upgrading it at that point. And my final tip for awareness. Get yourselves the Empowered Chain of Scales. This is from the Chult campaign. It is similar to the Forger box, if you know what that is, but instead of power, it gives awareness and some other stat. Gives 3% awareness and some other percent of a different stat. So the Chain of Scales is really, now I am talking about DPS specifically, but the Chain of Scales is the way to go. At least in my opinion. I constantly keep that up. If you would like a full guide on how to get the Chain of Scales, let me know. Maybe we could make that happen. I got to run a couple of new characters through Chult anyway. And if you like this video, remember to leave a like. Maybe share it with your friends, you know. Leave a comment about some other topics you would like to hear about Neverwinter, be it stats or lore. I love my lore talk. And I don't know, consider subscribing for more. I'll be back later. I've been working on some more of those lore videos. I think we're gonna do some lore about the city of Neverwinter itself. I'm thinking Black Lake, because Black Lake's kind of an interesting place. It doesn't get talked about a lot. Anyways, you can catch me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/BryceLovesGaming every Wednesday through Sunday, and sometimes Monday. Playing Neverwinter, I'll answer your questions if you have any. We frequently have been doing some giveaways. In fact, currently, specifically next week, we'll be doing some Feywolf giveaways, which I've heard you can't really get some of these wolves except from giveaways like this. So you should come get one of those, or at least try. Anyways, this is it for this video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that normal stuff. Ring that bell if you want to get some notifications, and come hang out on Twitch. I'll be back next time with some more Neverwinter stuff. And hey, if you want a full beginner's rogue guide, this will not be a best in slot guide, but it will get you started. Let me know. We can make that happen, and I'll see you in the Feywild.